Little jump scare for you. I'm back again. Can't get rid of me. I'm like herpes. Got another story for today. This one's actually the story that I mentioned in my previous video, the Give People a Chance story. It's going to be about the party that I last spoke to my friend at in that story. So yeah, I mentioned in the other story, I went to this party with Alex. It was just me and him. I'm pretty sure it was around the summertime. It was kind of a last minute planning thing. That's kind of why it only ended up being me and Alex. So a majority of the group chat couldn't make the time. They just had shit that they were already doing or had planned, and they just couldn't make it. However, me and Alex weren't on shit that night, so of course we were gonna pull up. We always had a protocol for when Alex had to go to parties because his parents were a little bit more strict, so we had to kind of tiptoe around him. It was always that he was going over to a sleepover, right? You're staying at the kid's house who you're going to the party with. You're not going to be staying there. And then he'd just call at the normal time that he would call him to say, like, good night and shit. Don't make fun. But yeah, he would call him whenever he told them that he was going to bed and stuff to say good night, or they'd call him and say, oh, we're going to bed, good night. So we'd try and make that call before we leave the house to go to the party, so, you know, there's not music bumping and people throwing up and shit in the background when he's supposed to be in a bed just chilling. We ended up going to this party a little bit early. It started at like 8 something, so we went at like 9. And his parents aren't gonna believe that he's going to sleep at 9 when he's chilling at his friend's house. Like, who does that? So for this occasion, we had to actually make the call at the party, but that comes later. We made the plan to go. He came over to my crib, and then my dad agreed to DD us, so we were safe. So we pull up. It's in like a more of a suburb area. Like, the houses are kind of close together, so they tried to keep it stealth. They had blankets and like shit and like comforters up on the windows, kind of like curtains, so it was just completely blacked out. You couldn't see what was going on in there. I don't know if they were doing some soundproofing or what, but when we were walking up to the house, I remember not hearing anything. Like, I was like, is this party dead? So we walk in through the front door. It's one of those houses where it has a garage connected to it and a door for the garage and then a door for the front. We walked in the front and we immediately got stopped. We got told from now on, just use the garage door. You don't, like, they don't want us going in and out of the front a lot. So we pull up and we walk into the kitchen first, I believe, after saying hi to the people that we knew, that we saw as we walked in. They're running out of alcohol and we showed up a little bit late. So we got our shit face on at like ×2 speed because we didn't want anybody to drink the rest of it while we were doing whatever we're doing. Me and ooh, see? Fuck. Me and Alex split up at one point. We just kind of went our own ways and started talking to people. We actually ran into one of our friends. I don't remember if he said that he couldn't come and then ended up coming through, or if he just didn't see the message. But I do remember that I did not expect him to be there, and it was sick to see him. This actually connects to my first story, because this guy that I ran into at the party that I knew is the same dude who gave me the felonious item in the first story that I made. I never gave him a name in that story, but, you know, I kind of regret that, because he's going to show up in more, so we'll call him John. So me and John chop it up for a little bit. He's with this girl from my school that I knew, so I was just shooting the shit with them for a little bit, and eventually the topic came to Chong'in. So there was like a 3-season room that was connected to the back of the garage. The garage was like super long. There was the garage, and then there was a door in the back by the wall, and that led into the 3-season, and then there's a door in the 3-season that leads out to the backyard. So we went on through the garage to get to the 3-season, and there was like a chair, not a chair, there was like 3 chairs, 1 chair for the whole fucking party. 3 is even kind of short, to be honest. Nevertheless, there was a couple chairs and a little table, and that was basically the rolling station. So he busts out his papers, we bust out our dank, he rolls up a joint, I roll up one, and as I'm finishing rolling up one, this girl comes up to me. I remember thinking to myself, why are you here? Not being mean, but this was a freshman, and I was a junior at the time. I just remember thinking, like, you're here? And she was talking about some, I really want to smoke, can you guys, like, can I hit your guys' joint? Like, can you roll me a joint? I'm like, dude, come on, hop off. I know the only reason why you're talking to me is because I have the rolling papers out and you see that I have weed. Like, you couldn't have made it more obvious. It was the first thing that she talked about, and she would not stop talking about it. It's kind of mean of me, but no, don't you just hate people like that? As I'm sitting there finishing and trying to shake this person off of me, Alex walks in, and he sees that we're getting functional here. Of course, he's like, "Yo, can I slide in on this rotation for one of those at least?" We go outside and smoke, do our thing. We actually came back in because somebody yelled at us for smoking outside. I don't understand that. Maybe because of the neighbors, but we were literally smoking outside, and somebody came out. They're like, "You could just smoke in the 3 season. Why are you smoking out here? Like, it's probably not a good idea." I was like, "Okay, I mean, okay." So we were just boxing the 3 season, and then it dawns on Alex, I haven't called my parents yet, and I'm getting trashed. So he voices his opinion on the topic. He says, "Oh my god, I need to call my parents still." Because we were just outside, I get an idea. I'm like, okay. There was nobody out there when we first walked out. There's probably not anybody out there now. You could probably make the call in the way, like, corner of the backyard, and you won't be able to hear anything through the phone. I could definitely say I was a little bit tossed at this point, because when I had that idea, I didn't think about, what if there's wind and he hears the wind in the phone? Obviously, there's not going to be 30-mile-an-hour winds blowing through my house, but it didn't come up, so I guess it wasn't windy that night. Now, Alex is usually on top of his shit. In terms of getting caught, this guy's like 500 to 3. There've been a couple times where he got like scarily close, or they probably already know, but he still tries to keep it on the down low for the most part at all times. So of course he's, "Do I sound drunk? Do I sound drunk?" I'm like, "No, you're fine, you're good," which he actually was fine. He didn't really drink that much that night, so you couldn't really tell in his voice. He makes his call, it all goes well. I think he told him that we were going to go watch a movie or something, and he wanted to let his phone charge, so don't call his phone. I also forgot to mention, he can't have his phone on him this whole time, because his parents can track his phone. So the plan was always, this is so sketch, we probably got caught. Call his parents from somebody else's phone, saying there was some problem with his phone, or his phone was charging, or dead, or something, so they wouldn't call the phone, and he would miss all the calls, and they'd know he wasn't there. There's no way that they didn't notice that every single time he goes over to his friends' houses, his phone doesn't work. Like, there's no way. So he hangs up, "Good night, I love you," all that, and, mission accomplished. As soon as he hangs up, "You think he bought it? Do you think he bought it?" I'm like, yeah, we're straight. He didn't start screaming at you, so we should be good. We're strolling back to the house talking about, oh, yeah, he doesn't know this, that, and the other. We get to the 3 season door, the one that's connected to the garage, and I walk through the 3 season, and nobody's in there. And I hear shit, because the door was closed to the garage, so you couldn't see what was going on in the garage, but I heard squeaking. Like of shoes, sneakers. Sounded like a bunch of dudes started a pickup game in the garage. We open it up, and oh yeah, so there was also a little thing that happened during the night. When linked up with us to smoke in the garage, he mentioned that he found a vape on the ground. I was like, "Are you seriously gonna hit that?" It was on the ground. He's like, "I whipped it off." The vape that he found on the ground was owned by the brother of the freshman that came up to me and was like bugging me for weed. Her brother is absolutely shit-faced, completely annihilated. I could fill the rest of the video with adjectives to describe how fucked up he was. And had his vape, and he was just walking around. I was watching him ask anybody, literally just walking up to people, "Hey, you wanna hit this?" Like, eventually, we'll just call him Vape Dude. So when Vape Dude found out who had his vape, Alex kind of knew what was coming. However, him and Vape Dude, like, were friends in school, so it wasn't like super serious. He was like play fighting though. He was touching him up, and Alex was blocking it. At the end, he was like, "Oh yeah, but I just found it. I hit it a few times, dude. Fucking monster." Just lying to his face. But he calmed down pretty quick and then went back to whatever he was doing. So that guy, Vape Dude. I opened the door to the garage after going through the 3 season, and I see Vape Guy's feet in the air. I just see legs go up, and I just hear a ba-boom. Dude, it was a concrete floor in the garage, obviously. Like, you heard the slap. You know it's good when you hit concrete and you hear the little, like, oh, dude, it was bad. It was really bad. I don't even think I said anything. I think I just pogged, and that was it. Like, I just made a, like, I was like, oh, holy shit. He got slammed onto a shoe rack. Fucking Jordan 5s are flying through the air and shit. That was terrible. We were picking up shoes after and shit. So what had happened there was the dude who brought him was getting tight because he was causing problems at the party because he was so wasted. He was pulling out his member and showing it to a girl and just being hella out of pocket. So he had to get sorted out. And he got sorted. He got sorted right the fuck out. After that, everything kind of got quiet a little bit. There was like a lot of yelling of, get in the truck, I'll bring you home. He even tried to convince him. He tried to trick him. The guy who brought Vape Dude was like, bro, I got cigarettes and pizza in the car, I promise. Just get in the car. Or the truck. He drove a truck there. He ended up convincing him. I don't know if this was after or before he got slammed on his neck, but Alex was just standing outside doing whatever he was doing, and Vape Dude happened to be next to him, and he literally just went offline. He was standing straight up and then just went unconscious and just completely ate shit. No catching yourself. No hands going up. That's it. Offline. It could have been after, because he did get his bell rung pretty good when he got dropped. After they left, things kind of picked back up again for a little bit. At one point, there was a girl who was diving headfirst down the staircase. Not diving as in like jumping, but she was treating it like a slide. I just watched. I was waiting for the horror to ensue, and it never did. She got lucky. There was also a dude that was passed out on the stairs, like stiff as a board. He was literally just in pencil dive position. I remember it too. He was wearing an all Jordan tracksuit, a red one, red and white. Things calmed down after the stair slide, and we had my dad come pick us up. He would always ask us for like a mini review of the party that we went to when he picked us up. He'd always hit me with the, how was it, guys? Seems like you had fun, all that stuff. We had that conversation in the car, and we're like 2 miles from the house, and wouldn't you believe it, a skunk runs out. Bro, I thought it was so, I don't know why I thought it was so funny, but I literally saw my dad just sit up in the car seat and just go into focus mode, and he started going back and forth a little bit, getting ready to like make a move around it, and then it just, dodged into the wheel of the car, and we hit it. And my dad started screaming out at us. He was just like, Jesus Christ, son of a bitch. The whole thing, dude, I was crying. It was so funny. Alex was cheesing in the back. Yeah, I think that's about it for that one. As always, leave that like if you enjoyed. It's just, all it takes is a second. You just click the mouse. And subscribe if you like gaming videos or these kind of story videos. I do both of them. I kind of started doing the stories, and as long as I have them to tell, I'll just tell them. Fuck it. If you like any of that, might want to subscribe. But yeah, peace out, y'all. Hope you enjoyed.